All right, let's dive right in. Today we're taking a close look at the brand new Insta360 Ace Pro 2. We're going to break down all the details and see if this thing is really the next big leap for action cameras, one that claims to fix all our biggest frustrations using some pretty powerful AI.
So, let me just start by asking a question, and I think a lot of you will know the answer. Have you ever filmed something that you thought was going to be epic, only to watch it back and, well, the footage is super grainy, you can't hear a thing over the wind, or it's just so shaky you can barely watch it? Yeah, it's the worst, right?
You know, for years, we've kind of just accepted these problems. I like to call it the action camera compromise. It was the price we paid to get a camera that was small and tough. But it looks like Insta360 is saying, nope, you don't have to make that compromise anymore.
So let's just lay out the big four frustrations, the main villains of the story. Grainy shots in the dark, wind noise that just destroys your audio, shaky video that's basically unwatchable, and of course, the hours and hours you have to spend editing to try and fix it all. These are the problems the Ace Pro 2 is built to solve.
First things first, let's talk about the image itself. I mean, that's where it all begins. And to tackle that problem of bad lighting, Insta360 has teamed up with a true legend in the world of cameras, Leica.
So, the heart of this camera is its hardware. We're talking about a massive 1.13-inch sensor, which for an action camera is absolutely huge, and it was co-engineered directly with Leica. Right off the bat, that combination means it can soak up more light, and it's backed by some of the best optics in the business.
Now, you see these tech specs here, and it might seem a bit complex, but this quote highlights something called 13.5 stops of dynamic range. What does that actually mean? Well, think of it this way. It's the camera's ability to see details in the super bright parts of your shot and the super dark parts, all at the same time, without turning one into a white blob or a black mess. It's a really big deal.
And of course, you've got the headline number, 8K. The Ace Pro 2 can shoot in stunning 8K resolution at 30 frames per second. The level of detail you get from that is just incredible for a camera you can fit in your pocket.
Now, for those moments with really tricky light, like, say, a sunset, or when you're moving in and out of shadows, Active HDR is your best friend. And the huge news here is that it now runs at a silky smooth 4K 60 frames per second, so your video stays perfectly balanced and super fluid.
So, you have this amazing sensor and a Leica lens. But what's processing all that visual information? Well, that brings us to the next massive innovation, something Insta360 is calling the dual AI brain.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's really clever. It isn't just one chip doing all the work. It's two that are working in harmony. You've got a dedicated pro imaging chip that's whole job is to crush image noise, and then you have a super powerful 5-nanometer AI chip that's driving the whole show.
And you might be asking, how much of a difference does this make? Well, look at this. The new model has 100% more computing power than the last one. We are talking double the processing muscle. That's not just an upgrade, it's a massive leap forward that unlocks entirely new features.
So, here's the payoff. What does all that power actually do for you? It gives you something called PureVideo Mode. This mode uses all that AI horsepower to do real-time noise reduction and dynamic range enhancement. It basically rewrites the rules for what an action camera can do in the dark.
Look, an incredible image doesn't mean much if the camera breaks on its first outing. So let's move on and talk about how this thing is actually built to survive in the real world.
First up, it's ready to get wet straight out of the box. We're talking waterproof down to 39 feet or 12 meters, with no need to fiddle with some bulky extra case.
And for anyone who loves skiing, snowboarding, or any winter sport, this is huge. The camera is designed to work in freezing temperatures, all the way down to -4 Fahrenheit or -20 Celsius. So no more dead batteries on the chairlift.
Of course, you can't talk about action cams without talking about shaky footage. The Ace Pro 2 uses Insta360's famous flow state stabilization. It's like having a high-end gimbal built right into the camera, giving you incredibly smooth shots no matter how bumpy things get.
And for all the vloggers out there, or really anyone who films themselves, this is a game changer. That 2.5-inch flip touchscreen is not only bigger and brighter for those sunny days, but it's also 100% more durable.
All right, let's get to the final piece of the puzzle. We've tackled bad light and shaky video, but what about the other major headaches? Terrible audio and the never-ending pain of editing. This is where that AI really starts to feel like magic.
Wind noise. It's the absolute worst. It can make your audio completely useless. The Ace Pro 2 attacks this with a 1-2 punch.
a new physical snap-on wind guard, which then works with the camera's internal AI algorithms to digitally remove any wind that still gets through.
And this might just be the single most mind-blowing feature of the whole camera. Instead of you spending hours sifting through footage, the AI Highlights Assistant does it for you. It automatically finds the most exciting moments, edits them together inside the camera, and then sends a finished, shareable video right to your phone. It's absolutely brilliant.
So let's tie this all together. Who is this camera really made for? Well, it's for creators who need that professional Leica image quality. It's for adventurers who need a camera that's tough as nails. It's for vloggers who are going to love that flip screen and the AI editing. And honestly, it's for anyone who's just fed up with the old compromises of action cameras.
And finally, for anyone wondering what you actually get, here's a quick look at the standard bundle. You get the camera itself, that crucial wind guard, 2 batteries, which is a really nice touch, a standard mount, and all the cables you need.
You know, to wrap this up, this camera isn't just about better specs on a sheet of paper. It really feels like a shift in how we actually create stuff. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. As AI gets this good, this deeply woven into our tools, is it about to become the essential co-pilot for every single creator out there? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.